Hi YouTube, this is Cesar. I'd like to share with you how you can draw your entire life in one page, past, present and future. I just did a workshop today with many students, and several of them have asked me to do a video tutorial so they can do it by themselves in their own time at home in a common environment. I've never done personal development videos before, and so that's not a scam or like a internet like business, and so everything is in this video and you can use it, and it's a free information. So over the past years I have developed and simplified this visualization method to help myself to make hard decisions such as choosing my field of studies, managing my career, but also resolve issues with my families or relationships. And every time using this method of visualization has helped me to clarify my situation and help me make me more confident and make more meaningful and build a more meaningful life for myself, the ones around me, and hopefully the world. So let's do this. So now it's a complicated visuals that you're seeing now, but I'm going to explain to you step by step. Using Google Drawing here because it's easier for you to read on the screen because my handwriting is not so good. And I recommend that you start with a simple pen and paper. So you're going to take a blank page and draw in the middle a line, and going to write the date of today and right now. Then you write almost at the top of the page the year that you were born, and you can put in parentheses your that's the birth, and at the bottom of the page is the year you don't know when you're going to die, but maybe let's say that you're going to live 100 years. Good. Next, so by now you should have a page that looks like this, and so now I'm going to zoom in, and at the top of the image you're going to add 4 categories. Top left, education or job, then passions with an S if you have many passions, people, and locations. Location, that places where you have been living or places where you have been traveling. Good. And then you want to draw a timeline. So say if I didn't have very busy childhood, I can fit maybe like I'm 30 years old, so maybe I can fit my 21st years in just 1/3 of the half top of the page, and the rest of the half top of the page will be for the last 10 years, which have been the busiest for me, between my 20s and my 30s. So it doesn't have to be regular. If you are the opposite and you have a very busy childhood, then you may and a very settled adulthood, then you may have a busy upper part, which would become more dense. So I'm going to take my own life as an example to explain you how to fill in this grid, and I won't speak too much in the details about my own stuff, but just so you understand what you want to fill in the gaps. So I'll start by the left column, which is education and job, because that's probably the easiest to remember on the top of your head. So I just went to a normal local school, public schools, and then I went to get my, so that was in France. Then I went to the Bull School, which is a craftsman school, where I developed this technique, actually because I wanted to decide what I will continue studying. I wasn't sure if I was going to continue study craft or something else. Then I continued and studied design in different institutions in France and in the UK. Then I applied for my master degree at the Royal College of Art in Design and Interactions, and then I was lucky to be selected as a TED Fellow and went to work at MIT, and now I have my own company that's called Prote after I left MIT. Okay, so that's your education and job. So what I recommend is that you pause the video and you fill that column for yourself. So fill the education and job for yourself. So when you're done, please play again. Good. So now you have your education and job up to today, and the point here is maybe there's some things that you want to change about your job, and so we're going to use all the other things in the next column to feed that information. So let's continue by what's most straightforward and doesn't require too much like self introspection, and there will be, well, the places you've been living or you've been traveling. So in my case, I was born in the south of France, in Bayonne, and then we moved to Saint-Malo, which is in Brittany. And because my father is Japanese, I also had some education in Japan, and we moved to Paris then, where I studied, my undergrad. And when I was a student, I was very keen on traveling, so I did many trips mostly around Europe. And then I went to get my master degree, like I was saying before, at the RCA in London. And then, so actually, I used for the first time this graphic method as my CV when I applied for my master degree, and it worked. I got in. And so the reason I got in is because with this method, you can show all the stuff that you like, or the places you've been, in a very synthetic way. So people, they don't need to read through a boring CV. They can just look at one image and they get kind of what you're made of, or how you became to be that person. But anyway, so after I moved to Nairobi and worked in Kenya for a bit, then I moved to Boston to work at MIT, and then I moved to New Orleans to work on the BP oil spill, and that's when I started my company, which is called Prote. We're building sailing robots. And then I kept doing the same company and moved around many places, and actually I sailed around the world with Unreasonable at Sea, which is a business incubator that was located on a ship. So we were sailing around the world as we were going, and now I live in Hong Kong and Shenzhen since 7 months, and that's where I developed my business. So that's it for the location and places where I've been living, and places where I've traveled or that have been important for me. So I encourage you to pause the video again now and to pick up later to fill in the rest. Okay, so the next I suggest feeling would be passions. So I was born by the ocean, and I also moved to the seaside, to Saint-Malo, when I was a kid, and I loved singing. That was just happens to be what my parents put me through a choir. And then I love to do some martial arts, and because of my proximity to the sea, I started sailing. And then I was interested in the arts. I mean, from music more into like plastic arts, as in drawing and painting and building architecture models. And then because like I said, I went to the École Boulle. It's a craft school, and I was really super keen on cycling, and so I developed an interest in mechanics. And later in electronics and coding, and so that's what led me to do this master degree in interactive design. And right now, my passion and my job really are, converging into becoming like a work as a passion. And that's the whole point of this work that we're doing now, is to see how you could basically combine the things that you love doing, and make a living out of this. And how do you make this happen? Okay, so again, I encourage you now to pause the video and to fill in all your passions and the things that you've been really super keen on. They can be, like official extracurricular activities. I don't know, it could be sports, or it could be art, or it could be, a very special hobby. I don't know, fishing. It could be, your passion could be about, I don't know, anything geeky, anything that made you who you are. Okay, now you can pause and fill in. Great. So the next is about the people. So maybe your passions or the location or your job have been strongly influenced by the people you've met. So in my case, as a child, I was born in the south of France, even though like my French family is from the north of France. And so the people who gave me my first name, which is Spanish, is it's Basque. It's Clément and Mamita. It's very an old couple, and they were really amazingly kind people. Even though they are not my biological parents, they acted as such. And and the next person that was really influential to me is when we moved to Paris. There was an old guy that was building microscopes in my street, and he was a kind of the new figure for my grandfather, because my grandfather was so far away. And so he was very important for me. And well, these are not people, like MIT Press is not people, and Wikipedia is not people, but they are written by people. And so some of them were alive, some of them were dead, but nevertheless, they have been extremely influential on me and on my further career. Then there was another old man that was very important for me. His name is Nathan Preshovnik, and he survived the death camps, and he wrote a book that he asked me to read and that was also very influential on my life path. And then, of course, relationships. My first girlfriend, my father, actually, I didn't get to talk to for a very long time. You know, family members, philosophers, artists, like anybody you want to put in people, like anybody that was really influential to you. And more recently, it's my co-worker. Her name is Gabriela Levine, and we started a business together, and she's been a constant inspiration for me. So you want to pause after I say maybe a few more words. So in people, it can be, like I was saying, like alive people. So it could be your family, could be your friends, could be your co-workers, could be a professor, or it could be some poets or some artists, that just the personalities that had or life stories that had a strong influence on you. Then you can pause. Good. So, oh yeah, and most recently, Tom Chi was a very strong influence on me, and so you can see that all of that stuff that I've done in my education, my passion, and the people I've met kind of converge to feed what I'm doing right now, which is Prote. They are autonomous sailing robots, and I feel very, very satisfied doing this job right now because I'm my own boss, and it combines all the stuff I love. It combines sailing, it combines traveling, it combines meeting a lot of interesting, inspiring people, and it's good for the environment. And so that's really where all the stuff I love kind of converging. And so the question is here, is now what? Now you've filled the top of your half of your page, and you're like, okay, I can see that's what I've done in my life in the past, but how can I push it further? So just here, I just want to take a little break and don't want to sound harsh, but you will die, and the one that you love will also die. And so before the people that you love die, you may want to spend some time with them. And there are many places you might be dreaming of going, many things that you want to do, and so yeah, you only have one life. And so now you see your life in the palm of your hand on this half sheet of paper. That's pretty amazing. What are you going to go through this line that is now? Think of the line in the center of the page as a kind of a filter. There are things that you have done in the past that you want to keep doing, and some of the stuff that you've done in the past, you just want to stop. You don't need some of the activities. There are some people in your future, some people that are really influential to you, and they're still alive, and you never had the courage to get in touch with them. Why? You have to call. You have to call. Get on the phone and give this important phone call that has been waiting for maybe a decade, and I don't know, this author or this artist or this girl or this guy that you're secretly in love with. Like, it's more than time. That's a long overdue. Or same for location. You've been dreaming of going to that place. Is like, what keeps you from doing it? So again, I'm just going to use my personal life. So I have a company right now, and I know I want to keep it. I want to keep doing it for a good amount of time for the next years to come. And I know that what I really need to find is a good business and work and R&D partner. And I also aspire to start my own family. So I just turned 30, and I feel like I'm feeling more and more ready to start my own family. And about the location where I am today, Hong Kong and Shenzhen, I feel very happy here. So I want to stay here for a while. Then I had this crazy dream when I was a student. That was actually my diploma project, which is to build the International Ocean Station. It's like the space station, but it's for the oceans. And that sounds really crazy, I guess, to many people, or crazy ambitious. But I will comment on that afterwards. And my long-term project is to create a better relationship between the economy, the financial economy, and the environmental economy, so like environmental systems, and to create something I call liquid economy. And because Africa is going to be industrialized, then I think, I'm not sure, but I have the feeling that I will have to be in Africa when I get older, just because of the nature of the business I'm doing. So that's just a feeling. So the idea here is that, so again, like, now you're going to pause the video, And this time really take your time. Like there's no going from like location first or job first or passion first. Like this, I have no advice on this. This is really your little cooking, and you do it. You have to do it your own way. So yeah, pause the video and take your time to think what you want to keep from your past and what you want to bring forward that's important for you. So you can pause the video now. Okay. So what I really want to say as a comment is that, you know, I was saying the International Ocean Station, that sounds like a really crazy, ambitious thing, and that's okay. And you know, the plan will change. And what's important with making this kind of like grand or super long-term plan is not to follow this plan like step by step, because it will change. But what it brings you is that it brings you some clarity about the person that you have been and the person that you are now and the person you want to be, and that can give you some confidence into making these important life decisions. And for me, it has helped me to become a better person for myself, to understand myself better, and to be more clear in how I interact with other people, and hopefully you know, do projects that are coherent with what I'm passionate about, and that can have a positive impact on the world. Also, what I have to add as a comment is you may have grand project or humble project. Maybe it matters less suddenly if you succeed in those projects. It matters less than actually if you know that what you're pursuing is not, I don't know, getting rich, for example, but you know, fighting for a cause that you think is worthwhile, and so that makes you feel more comfortable about, you know, what is success or failure to you, because you know that you're contributing to society for something that's maybe hopefully bigger than yourself. And the next slide, yes. Sorry. So the idea is that this is like a, you know, like a business plan for companies. Like you make business plans, or you can make like a life plan, but of course it's going to change. So what I suggest is that you don't spend a lot of time working on this. Is that you just spend half an hour, you know, like drawing your past or the last few important things in your couple of last years, and then you draft something, and then you do it over and over again. Every time you feel that you have some doubts about the directions you want to take, or if you need more clarity about short, medium, or long term, you can use this very simple and free method, just a pen and a paper. And now I think that's maybe the most important part of the presentation. But what I've tried to show you right now is that your life is a network of events, as in people, locations, or jobs, or relationships, or like people that you've met. And we are all, you know, these complex networks of feelings and experience and stories, and so is everybody else. And so you can connect with other people by, for example, like what they're passionate about, or by the location, or just who they are. And so the idea is that if you're dreaming alone, it's only a dream, but if you dream with other people, it becomes a reality. And so what I would love is to, if you guys on YouTube could, you know, like do this exercise for yourself and share it. If you can put in the comment, you know, some links to a picture, a photograph, or screen capture of your life drawing, then I think it will be very inspirational for others, and yeah, and it will encourage others to, you know, to do the same and start to feel altogether confident about our aspirations. So just to wrap it up, the idea is step one is to draw your past, understand where you're standing in the present, and, you know, choose what you're going to be making for the rest of your life. And that step one is to connect to yourself, connect your life events. The second step is to connect to others. So it means once you've acquired this clarity, then you can, you know, connect to other people, and because you know what you want, then like everything becomes so much more clear. And then you don't, you know, raise expectation that you cannot meet with other people, or it just makes maybe your life simpler, and you feel more comfortable. And the third is that if you find people that have the same dreams and aspiration, well, then you may actually want to do this exercise collaboratively, as in you could see how your life goals correspond to other people's life goals. So I was saying that I use this method for personal development, but you can also use this for, you know, company development. For example, like you want to check if your coworkers have the same objective in personal development and the company development. Or you could use that in your personal relationship with your wife, or with your kids. What do the members in your family want if you're going to spend your life together? So so I just showed you how to do it with a pen and pencil, or do it on the Google Drawing, but there are more I would say advanced way to do that. If you want to add more detail, so for example, if you're working just with paper in a tangible way, you can use paper and pencil and eraser, which is what you might have done the first time. But next time, or if you don't want to have to draw it all over again, you could just work on post-its. So you could work on stickies, or on dry erase board, or with magnets, or pins. The second is that you could work on it online and collaboratively. So I've been doing that a lot because I work in open source hardware development, and so it helps us to make sure that we have the same objectives over time. And another really great software is called Prezi, and Prezi allows you to zoom in to like incredible small levels. So you could add a ton of content, and it would still be digestible, and you would be able to see what matters to you by just writing, like letters or important things in big letters and less important things in small letters. So that's for the people who wants to have like a very comprehensive map of their life. MindMeister is a quick diagram software, and Asana and if you combine it with Instagant, so that's more like team and project management, and they are very intuitive ways of managing your tasks day to day and brainstorming to develop a project and to like kill tasks. And you could lay them in a Gantt chart if you combine Asana and Instagant. So we use that in our company to develop, to brainstorm and develop milestones, and like look back at what we've done and be effective in collaboration. And then of course you can work offline on vector software like Illustrator or Inkscape, Pages for Mac or Microsoft Word or OmniGraffle. Again, that's more Mac-oriented software. So I hope this presentation was helpful for you, and that you have a better grasp now of your past, your present, and maybe get more insight of what you want to do for your future. This presentation is online, so you can leave comments under the YouTube video in the comments on YouTube, or you could go on this link, and you could leave comments on each of the slides if you have suggestions of how I could improve it. And well, thank you very much. I prefer if you send me comments on YouTube, not by personal email, but that's my website there. And I will, and also in the comments there is all the links to all the softwares that I mentioned. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.